The grand hall of the Galactic Council was filled with cold light. The chamber stretched wider than any human stadium. 1,000 alien delegates sat in silence, their glowing eyes focused on one single figure, the human ambassador. For centuries, humanity had been part of the Galactic Council, following its rules, paying its dues, and bowing to its authority. Yet today, the Council demanded something more, something final. They wanted Earth to give up its right to self-defense, to surrender all advanced weapons, and to accept permanent guardianship under alien control. The alien speaker, a towering creature with crystal skin, raised his voice. Earth must obey. Humans are dangerous. Their ambition will destroy balance. You are ordered to submit. His words echoed like thunder. The human ambassador did not rise from his seat. His calm voice carried across the hall. Earth will not submit. We will not kneel. Humanity will stand free. A ripple spread across the chamber. Some alien delegates gasped. Others laughed bitterly. The council had crushed dozens of rebellions before. No world had ever dared to walk away. No race had ever broken from their grasp. But humanity was different. Humanity had endured wars, plagues, and disasters on its own homeworld. They had risen from fire, from ruins, from ashes. The idea of kneeling was worse than death. The ambassador placed his hand on the table. We came to this council in peace. We gave trust. We followed rules, but we will not give up our right to exist. We will not give up our right to fight for our people. The council erupted in voices. Alien tongues clashed against one another. Some demanded war. Others whispered fear. A few looked at the humans with quiet admiration. One elder of the council, older than empires, leaned forward, his voice deep and heavy. If Earth walks away, the stars will burn. Order will collapse. You will bring chaos to the cosmos. The ambassador looked up, his face calm, his eyes steady. Then let it collapse. Better chaos than chains. With those words, the human delegation turned and left the hall. Silence followed them, silence heavier than any battle drum. The council knew something had broken, something that could never be healed. Outside the chamber, the human ships waited, sleek and silent, unknown to the council. These ships were not weak, they were not outdated, hidden from galactic eyes. Humanity had built weapons in secret. Warships forged in orbiting shipyards far from alien patrols, engines capable of tearing through fleets. As the human ambassador stepped aboard his vessel, he whispered to his crew, "Today we are free, tomorrow the stars will tremble." Back in the council chamber, fear grew. Messages spread across the galaxy in seconds. Earth has broken away, humans defy the council. Worlds shook at the news. Smaller civilizations whispered hope. Maybe they too could be free. Stronger races muttered anger. For if humanity could defy the council, then unity itself was at risk. The council leaders gathered in private, their voices low and grim. They must be stopped. Humanity cannot be allowed to walk away. Their rebellion will spread like fire. Already some planets stir. Already voices rise. Another replied, "If we strike too soon, we will prove them right. But if we wait too long, the galaxy will fracture." The elder spoke again, his voice carrying the weight of ages. "They are bold, too bold, but their spirit will destroy them. They think themselves free, yet freedom always demands blood. Prepare the fleets, but let them make the first move. The universe must see humanity as the cause of chaos." While the council plotted, humanity prepared. On Earth, leaders met in shadowed rooms. Generals reviewed secret plans. Scientists unveil technologies never shown to alien eyes, weapons of stealth, of power, of speed. But more than weapons, humanity carried something the council never understood: hope. The belief that no chain could last forever, that no master could rule forever. As night fell across Earth, cities glowed with lights. People looked up at the stars, not with fear, but with resolve. They knew the path ahead would be dangerous, but they also knew the truth. They were no longer servants, they were free. And in the silence of deep space, the first sparks of rebellion had been lit. Sparks that would spread from system to system, from world to world, until the galaxy itself was set ablaze. The Galactic Council believed it held the universe together. But as Earth walked away, cracks spread through the order they had built for millennia. The news of Earth's defiance spread like a storm across the stars. No transmission had ever traveled faster. No message had ever carried such weight. Humanity has broken free. The words echoed in 1,000 alien languages, in palaces, in marketplaces, in war rooms. To some, The news brought terror, for the Galactic Council had been the only shield against chaos. If humans walked away, then who else might follow? To others, the news brought a secret spark, a dangerous hope that maybe, just maybe, the chains that bound them could also be broken. On distant planets, alien workers whispered in dark alleys. The humans dared to say no. Merchants on trade stations exchanged rumors. Their fleets are stronger than the Council believed, and in the shadows of ancient empires, oppressed races raised their eyes toward Earth as if waiting for a signal. The Galactic Council, furious yet fearful, held an emergency gathering. The chamber thundered with voices. Humanity is reckless. They must be punished. If they escape unscathed, every world will rise. One elder slammed his clawed hand on the table. Strike now. Crush them before their rebellion spreads. But another, older still, shook his head. No, let the galaxy see them as villains. We will make their freedom look like treachery. The stars will believe they seek conquest, not liberty. While the Council argued, humanity prepared. In secret shipyards orbiting Earth's moon, massive warships emerged, each vessel cloaked in layers of alloy unknown to alien science. Engines that could outpace Council cruisers, weapons designed not only to defend, but to strike with precision and fury. These ships had names whispered with pride: Liberty, Dawnbreaker, Iron Resolve. Names not of submission but of defiance. Each hull carried the weight of Earth's history. Each crew carried the fire of a people who had chosen freedom over survival. Inside one of the great warships, Captain Arjun stood before his crew, his voice steady. We are no longer soldiers of the Council. We are defenders of humanity. Remember this. We fight not to conquer. We fight to live free. And if chaos follows, let it follow, for freedom is worth the storm. His words lit fire in the hearts of his crew. Young men and women who had grown under the shadow of alien rule. Now they would be the ones to write history, but even as humanity armed itself, the galaxy trembled. In distant systems, riots broke out, slaves refused to work, colonies raised banners of resistance, each act small, each act fragile, yet all tied together by the single spark lit on Earth. The Galactic Council's spies reported these incidents with alarm. The rebellion spreads faster than expected. One agent said, our fleets cannot be everywhere at once. The humans have become a symbol that cannot be destroyed with fire alone. The Council grew desperate. In the deepest chamber of their capital world, the highest elders spoke in shadows. We must unleash the weapon, the project we swore never to use. Humanity's defiance leaves us no choice. Silence followed. The weapon was dangerous, capable of breaking not just fleets but entire worlds. Back on Earth, the human ambassador met with secret allies, a reptilian, envoy from a suppressed race, his voice low. We watched you defy them. We wish to join you. Give us arms, give us hope, and our people will rise too. But humanity faced a dangerous choice. If they armed these alien allies, they risked betrayal. Spies could be everywhere. Yet if they turned them away, they might lose the chance to spread the fire of freedom even faster. The ambassador looked at the envoy, his voice calm. If you join us, you must be ready to fight, not for us, but for yourselves. Betrayal will mean death, but loyalty will mean freedom. Suspense deepened as fleets moved in secret, humanity strengthened in silence, and whispers of revolt shook the cosmos. Then came the moment the galaxy feared. Council fleets gathered at the edge of Sol, thousands of warships, their shadows blotting out starlight, their message clear: submit or be destroyed. But on the bridge of the Dawnbreaker, Captain Arjun stood tall, his hand hovering over the command. He whispered to himself, let the Council see our answer. And as Earth's hidden fleets powered up, their engines glowing like new suns, the galaxy held its breath. As the first human fleets powered their engines, the galaxy shook with fear. Yet in the hidden corners of space, strange signals began to appear. Not all races stood with the Galactic Council. Many had suffered in silence for centuries, waiting, hoping for someone bold enough to strike first. Humanity had given them that spark. In the deep black, a convoy of cloaked ships slipped through the void. They carried envoys from suppressed civilizations, insectoid tribes from the edge of the spiral arm, reptilian clans forced into servitude, even aquatic species whose home oceans had been taxed dry by the Council. They came quietly, seeking one thing, an audience with humanity. Inside a secret base orbiting Mars, the human ambassador met them, the Charas. Amber was dim, voices low. Every alien carried the weight of fear. Betrayal could mean death, yet hope pushed them forward. The insectoid leader clicked his mandibles. Your defiance gave us courage. We are ready to rise. Give us arms, give us ships, and our chains will break. A reptilian warrior hissed, scales glowing faintly in the light. The council crushed our kind for generations. We have nothing left to lose, only freedom to gain. Suspense filled the room. The humans listened, knowing spies could be among them, knowing a single betrayal could doom Earth. Captain Arjun spoke with steel in his voice. We do not seek to rule you. If you stand with us, you stand for yourselves. But remember this, the council will not forgive you. Once you rise, there is no return. The room grew silent. The aliens looked at one another, then one by one, they swore allegiance, some by blood, some by oath, some by ancient gestures of unity. Humanity had allies now, fragile but fierce, yet in the council's capital, shadows stirred, agents reported whispers of betrayal. The humans are not alone, one spy warned. Other races join them. The rebellion spreads faster than flame. The High Elder's voice shook with fury. Then the weapon must be prepared. Deep beneath the surface of their world, in caverns sealed for millennia, the council awakened an ancient engine of war, a construct of living metal, older than empires. It pulsed with power that could unravel fleets in seconds. They had sworn never to use it, for it could consume the very fabric of space. Yet now they prepared to unleash it upon Earth, while the council armed their terror. Humanity and its new allies trained in secret. Fleets drilled together, learning each other's tactics. Human officers taught rebels how to fight with precision, how to strike fast and vanish. In return, the aliens shared knowledge the council had hidden for centuries, star maps of secret passages, hidden wormholes, forgotten outposts. The Dawnbreaker led raids on council supply lines, striking like lightning, then vanishing into the dark. Every victory brought new courage. Every act of defiance made the galaxy tremble. But suspense grew heavier, for humanity knew the council would not sit idle forever. One night, in the silence of space, sensors detected a massive fleet moving toward Sol, larger than any seen before. Not only warships, but carriers, dreadnoughts, and vessels cloaked in strange energy. Captain Arjun stood at the viewport, his face shadowed. This is not just a fleet, he whispered. This is a storm. The ambassador turned to him, voice steady yet heavy. Then we must stand with our allies. We are no longer alone. If the council wishes to crush us, they will have to face every spark they tried to smother. As the stars glittered cold and distant, the galaxy held its breath again. Hidden allies rose from the shadows, secret weapons stirred in the dark, and the first great clash between Earth and the Galactic Council drew near, and somewhere in the endless void, the ancient weapon of the Council awakened, its heart beating like thunder, its hunger reaching across the stars. The Sol system had never been so silent. The planets seemed to wait. Even the stars seemed to dim. Then, from the darkness beyond Pluto, the first Council ships appeared, colossal shadows drifting into the system. Soon thousands more followed. Their fleets stretched across the void like a moving wall of steel and fire. Their message was simple: submit or die. On Earth, billions watched the sky feeds. Fear gripped them, yet behind that fear was pride. Humanity had chosen this path. They would face the storm together, in hidden bases under the oceans and mountains. Civilians prepared shelters. Soldiers whispered quiet prayers. Children asked their parents why the stars looked angry. And the parents answered with, courage, because we chose to be free. Aboard the Dawnbreaker, Captain Arjun stood firm, his voice steady. This is the moment we prepared for. They believe we are weak. They believe we are alone. Today, we show them who we are. His words flowed across the fleet, steadying every heart. Humanity's warships emerged from the shadows of moons and asteroids, sleek black hulls gleaming with new alloys. Their engines roared like thunder. Their weapons glowed with power unknown to the Council. Each ship carried not just firepower but the will of a people who refused to kneel. The Council commander, a massive insectoid general, sent one last message: humans, surrender. and perhaps some of you will live, the human ambassador replied calmly. No chains, no masters, no surrender. With that, the first clash began. The Council fleets opened fire. Beams of light and torrents of plasma lit the void. Space itself seemed to tremble, yet humanity's ships moved faster than the Council expected. Their new drives bent gravity. Their shields rippled like liquid metal. The Dawnbreaker led the charge, diving through the heart of the enemy line. Its cannons roared, tearing apart a dreadnought in a single strike. Cheers echoed across the human channels, but the battle was far from won. Council ships regrouped, their numbers overwhelming. Wave after wave pressed forward. For every Council vessel destroyed, two more advanced. Humanity's fleets fought like lions, but the pressure was crushing. Then came the Allies. From hidden wormholes, rebel ships poured into the system. Insectoid swarms darting between cruisers, reptilian raiders striking from the flanks, aquatic carriers unleashing torpedoes like silver arrows. The galaxies oppressed had come to stand beside Earth. Suspense deepened. The Council commander watched in rage. Traitors, all of you, we will burn your worlds to dust. Kiss, he roared. But his fury could not change the truth. The Council faced not only humanity, but a rising storm of rebellion. Still, victory was uncertain. The ancient weapon was moving, deep in the Council's vaults. It awakened further, its pulse spreading through hyperspace. The Council prepared to unleash it once the human fleet was weakened enough. Aboard the Dawnbreaker, sensors screamed warnings. Too many ships we cannot hold, a young officer shouted. Captain Arjun clenched his jaw. Then we fight until the stars fall. Suddenly, a massive explosion lit the void, one of Earth's hidden weapons, the solar spear, unleashed from Saturn's orbit, a beam of pure energy that ripped through a dozen Council vessels at once. The galaxy watched in shock. Humanity was no longer the student, no longer the servant. They had become the teacher of war. But even as the Council faltered, even as rebel cheers filled the comms, the ambassador's face grew grim. This is only the beginning. They have something darker prepared. Something older than any empire. The first clash of the rebellion ended not with peace, but with silence. Wreckage drifted through Sol, the dead of both sides frozen in the void. And all across the galaxy, fear grew, not only of humanity's strength, but of what the Council might unleash next. In hidden chambers, the ancient weapon pulsed again, hungering, waiting. The wreckage of the first clash still drifted through the Sol system. Broken warships hung like tombstones in the void, but across the galaxy, the meaning of that battle was greater than any single victory. Humanity had faced the Galactic Council and had not been destroyed. On distant worlds, whispers turned into shouts. In mining colonies where slaves had labored for centuries, workers dropped their tools and raised their fists. On ocean planets stripped bare by Council taxes, entire cities rioted against their overseers. On desert moons, banners of rebellion were painted across canyon walls. Everywhere the cry was the same. If Earth can fight, so can we? The Galactic Council tried to silence these voices. Fleets were dispatched. Governors declared martial law. But the spark had already become fire. Systems that had once feared the Council now dared to defy them, each rebellion small on its own. Yet together they shook the pillars of galactic order. Aboard the Dawnbreaker, Captain Arjun and the ambassador watched transmissions flood in, alien leaders begging for weapons, colonies offering secret bases, smugglers pledging their ships to the cause. Humanity had become more than free. They had become the symbol of freedom itself. Yet this new power came with danger. The more allies they gained, the greater the risk of betrayal. Council spies were everywhere. Every promise of aid could be a trap. Arjun's voice was hard as steel. We must trust carefully, for one knife in the dark could cost us the war. Still, the momentum grew unstoppable. Rebel fleets began striking Council outposts, cutting off supply lines, destroying fuel depots, and liberating prison colonies. The galaxy trembled as the once untouchable Council suffered blow after blow. In the Council's capital, fury and fear clashed. The High Elder's voice shook the chamber. The galaxy burns because of Earth. Their rebellion spreads like a disease. If we do not crush them now, there will be nothing left to rule, another elder whispered. Then unleash the weapon. It is the only way. Silence followed. For the weapon was not simply a tool. It was a terror from another age. sealed away because even the Council had feared it, in secret caverns. That weapon stirred, its form vast and alien, a living machine that pulsed like a heart of fire. It was not just designed to kill fleets, it was designed to collapse entire systems, to turn stars into graves. Its hunger grew as it awakened. Back on Earth, humanity prepared. Shipyards burned with light as more vessels were built. Engineers worked without rest. Scientists unlocked technologies once thought impossible. Humanity knew the Council would strike harder than before, and they had to be ready. But suspense deepened when a mysterious message reached the humans carried by a rogue Council officer who risked everything. The Elders will unleash the forbidden weapon. It will not only destroy you, it will tear the galaxy apart. Stop them, or no one will survive. The ambassador gathered the rebel leaders in a hidden council of their own, his voice calm but heavy. The Council believes they control fear, but they are wrong. Fear has turned against them. Now the galaxy rises. But if this weapon is unleashed, it will not matter who wins or loses. Everything will burn. The decision was clear. Humanity and its allies could no longer only defend. They had to strike. They had to go beyond rebellion. They had to take the war to the very heart of the Council. As fleets gathered, as alliances tightened, the galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath in the deepest vaults of the Galactic Council's homeworld. Ancient locks broke one by one. Chambers sealed for millennia groaned open. And there it was, the weapon the Elders had sworn never to use, a creation from a forgotten war. A living machine forged not by hands, but by something older, something alien even to the Council. It pulsed with dark energy, a core of black fire that bent space around it. Its awakening shook nearby stars. Planets trembled as if sensing the birth of a monster. The High Elder raised his voice. Release it. Let the humans see the price of their defiance. As the command was given, the weapon rose into space, vast as a moon, its surface alive with crawling veins of light. Fleets surrounded it, not to guard but to worship in fear. Every commander knew once unleashed, there would be no going back. In Seoul, humanity's fleets waited, their allies spread across the system. Captains spoke in hushed tones, knowing something was coming, something worse than fleets. Then the signal came. Sensors screamed warnings. A tear opened in the fabric of space, and the weapon appeared. The Dawnbreaker shook as alarms blared. Officers shouted, "Energy levels beyond measurement. It is not a ship, it is something else." Captain Arjun clenched his fists. So this is their monster. The weapon opened its core, and from it poured a storm. Waves of energy ripped across space. Shields shattered. Smaller ships were torn apart instantly. Even planets trembled as gravitational tides shifted. Humanity had never faced such power. Not in all its history. Panic filled the rebel fleets. Commanders cried out, "We cannot fight this. It is too strong." But the ambassador's voice cut through the chaos, calm and steady. "Listen to me. They want us to break. They want us to surrender. If we do, this galaxy dies. Hold the line." Human scientists had predicted something like this. Hidden deep within Earth's moon base, a counterweapon had been built, the solar prism, designed to bend and redirect stellar energy. It had never been tested, and using it could destroy both allies and enemies alike. Captain Arjun faced the choice, risk everything on a weapon untested or watch the fleets be torn apart, his voice heavy. "Activate the prism, now!" From behind the moon, massive structures unfolded, mirrors of pure crystal aligned with the sun, light gathered, focused, turned into a spear of burning brilliance. The solar prism fired. A single beam brighter than 1,000 suns struck the ancient weapon. For a moment, silence. Then the void exploded with color. The weapon roared, its surface cracked. Shards of living metal tore away, yet it did not fall. It turned its fury on the prism, sending a wave of destruction that shattered half the mirrors instantly. The system shook, fleets scattered, but the weapon was wounded. And for the first time in ages, it had bled. The rebels cheered. Hope returned. "It can be hurt," voices cried. "It is not unstoppable." But suspense deepened, for the weapon's core flared again, brighter, hungrier. It was not finished. It was only beginning. Aboard the Dawnbreaker, Arjun whispered to himself, "This is no longer about victory. This is about survival." And across the galaxy, worlds watched, waiting, knowing the outcome of this clash would decide not only the fate of humanity, but the fate of every living race. The ancient weapon pulsed again. Its black core brightened until even distant stars seemed dim. Its hunger reached across the Sol system, seeking to tear everything apart. Rebel fleets wavered. Some captains whispered retreat, others wept in silence, for no battle had ever been fought against such a terror. Aboard the Dawnbreaker, Captain Arjun's eyes burned with resolve. We cannot run. If we run, the galaxy dies. If we fall, every world will remain in chains forever. His words cut through despair, steadying his crew. The human ambassador appeared on every fleet channel, his voice calm yet fierce. Listen to me. This is the hour history will remember. The Council brought a monster to enslave us, but together we can end it. Today we fight not as humans, not as rebels, but as the free races of the galaxy. His words spread like fire. Rebel captains roared in answer. Insectoid swarms launched without hesitation. Reptilian raiders dived straight into the storm. Aquatic carriers released their final torpedoes. Humanity's fleets surged forward. The galaxy united in one desperate strike. The weapon unleashed its fury. Waves of energy ripped across the void. Ships shattered like glass. Yet still they came. Still they fought. Every fallen vessel opened the path for another. Every sacrifice carved a way closer to the weapon's core. Then came the moment of truth. The solar prism, half destroyed, still clung to life. Broken mirrors realigned by human engineers working with bleeding hay. Endes. It gathered the sun's light once more, but this time it was not enough. The weapon countered with a blast that nearly consumed the prism. Captain Arjun knew what had to be done. His voice shook but never broke. Dawnbreaker will carry the final strike. Route all power to the main cannon. Prepare to fire into its core. Officers turned in shock. Captain, the blast will consume us. Arjun gave a faint smile. Freedom is worth more than one ship, than one crew, than one life. If we end this monster, we give the galaxy a future. The Dawnbreaker dived through the storm, its hull burning, shields collapsing, but its path clear. Allies shielded it, throwing themselves into the weapon's fury. Insectoid ships blocked beams. Reptilian raiders drew fire. Aquatic carriers launched their last volleys. Every race gave all they had so the Dawnbreaker could reach the heart. Inside the bridge, silence fell. Arjun whispered, "For humanity, for the galaxy." His hand pressed the command, the cannon fired. A beam of pure white light tore into the weapon's core, meeting its black fire. For a heartbeat, the universe seemed to split in two. Then came the explosion, a burst of energy so vast it lit every world in the system. Wreckage spun into the void. Waves of light rippled through hyperspace. When the fire faded, the ancient weapon was gone. Nothing remained but silence. The Dawnbreaker too was gone. Only fragments left drifting. Its sacrifice carved into the stars. The Galactic Council, watching from their capital, fell into panic. Without their weapon, without their fleets, their rule collapsed. Rebellions erupted everywhere. Governors fled, slaves rose. The empire of fear shattered in weeks, and in the ashes, humanity stood, not as conquerors, but as leaders of a new order. The ambassador addressed the galaxy, his words carried to every star. We did not fight to rule. We fought so no one would be ruled again. Today begins a new age, not of chains, but of freedom. The galaxy erupted in cheers. Worlds once divided stood together. Humanity had become the symbol of unity, their name whispered with respect, with hope, with awe. But as the stars shone brighter than ever, a quiet truth remained. Freedom would never be easy. Chaos would always linger. Yet in that chaos was something stronger. The will of countless worlds to never kneel again, and so the cosmos, once chained by fear, began its new age, not under the Galactic Council, but under the light of freedom. The Dawnbreaker's sacrifice became legend, its name written across the skies, and humanity's choice, the choice to defy, to fight, to bleed, became the fire that would guide the galaxy forever.